Hey everyone, and welcome to the Pulse podcast. Today's episode is Biomedical Insights from the Lab, where we take you inside the world of medicine, science, innovation from a student's perspective. I'm your host, Amrutha, and in today's episode, we have a special one. Today, we're joined by Miss Atic, the Biomedical
Hi.
Academy Instructor from Beachside High School. She's the heart of the program, guiding students through everything from forensic labs, the cardiovascular system, all the way to real-world interventions. We'll be diving into what it's like to run a biomedical lab, how students learn hands-on what the labs are, how HOSA works, and the future of biomedical sciences, and what it looks like for young aspiring professionals. Hi, Miss A, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So, Miss
Oh,
A, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into biomedical education?
absolutely. Initially, I really wanted to go to school for dentistry. And that was my primary goal. I wanted to go to school for that. And then after doing that for a few years, I always planned on going into education. My plans changed after I pursued a degree in biology, and I really loved the content. I got a master's in medical science prior to matriculating to a dental program. And I decided then that I wanted to teach instead of do dentistry. So I wanted to teach the content that I was really passionate about.
That's what I hear from a lot of the students. They first turn out like they're like, "Oh, I want to aspire to be a surgeon." And then they like narrow it down in med school or they narrow it down in college because that's when they really get insight on what they want to do.
Exactly. We did a lot of group work, and the group work allowed me to kind of teach my classmates what was going on. I understood the concept fairly easily. I wouldn't say everything was easy. Some things were
Yeah.
tougher, but I understood those concepts. I was able to introduce my classmates, my teammates to those concepts in various ways that the professors weren't able to. And so we worked together. And with that, I was like, I really like talking and I like talking about these topics. So I did that. And then I taught biology. And then right before Beachside opened, I applied for the biomed position just because I really thought this was my specific area of expertise that I would really, really excel in. And my students could excel because I was passionate about the content as well as had the knowledge for that content.
So you would say like the group work you did in college is what really brought you into teaching biology in the Biomedical Academy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So what makes the biomedical program at Beachside so unique?
Oh, it's a good one. The biomedical program at Beachside, as compared to other health-related academies within our county and even nationally, biomed is unique in that it introduces students to so many career professions that aren't just physician or nurse oriented. You have biomedical engineering that is discussed. You have forensic science that's discussed, and all of those topics are going to vary greatly from what you would get from a traditional health academy.
I remember in my first year of the Biomed Academy, we did the forensics, the very first part, where we had to
Yes,
see Ana Garcia at the crime scene, and there was just like a random person just lying on the floor there. Amazing
that's
act.
always fun.
You
See,
should
the
try
Biomed Academy allows people to be actors as well.
it. So, what's a typical day? What does it look like for you during your role as the teacher?
During the school year. My typical days don't start off super early. I know some teachers like waking up really, really early. I love to sleep in. So I will sleep in. I get to school around 8:30. I start planning out my day, start really honing what my lessons are going to be like, make all of the copies that I might need, additional things, set up labs if I need to during my first period planning, and then I teach my classes. After school, I go over what I have done for the day. And then if I need to grade assignments, I do that after school. If I need to set up a lab for the next day, I'll start that after school. And I typically stay at school late. So I typically don't leave school before 6 p.m.
Oh wow, that's late from 8:30 to 6 p.m.
Yes,
So, now let's
sometimes later.
later, like how late?
The latest I've been at school has been 9:15.
Wow, That's
Yeah.
crazy. 9:15. Let's get into program specifics. So, what's the coolest lab experiment you and the students at Beachside have done?
Uh, I would say DNA gel electrophoresis. I think that lab, I didn't do a lab like that until I was in college. And even when I was in college, I didn't really grasp the full idea of exactly what I was doing and why the DNA was moving through the gel the way it was. Because when you're taught in a college setting, you're taught with so many other students. I think it's amazing that students get to do those types of labs, and then they get to uh, streak bacteria and grow bacteria, those types of labs, and really learn about the processes that go on behind why the lab works the way it works in a smaller setting than what you would see in an auditorium and on a college campus. So I love being able to bring college
Level.
content to students in a smaller setting in high school.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing too because when I did the gel electrophoresis, it was so much better than like getting hands-on experience compared to just watching it on like an Amoeba Sisters video or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, how do you prepare students for real-world healthcare?
They're introduced to various problems and then they have to figure out how to solve those problems, or they learn, processes like mitosis. But whenever they're introduced to these problems, they're also introduced to the career pathways that are related to the issue that's at hand within their activity, which is really useful. While you learn about something, you're not just learning about the career, you're learning about the processes that people within this career have to utilize constantly. Additionally, academies offer students internship opportunities after their junior year, which is amazing. And then that's coordinated with our district specialists. They work with companies within our community to offer students these opportunities. These internships have to be applied for, and sometimes they're amazing and they make students really feel like they want to be in the medical field, and sometimes they're amazing and make students realize that they don't want to be a part of the medical field. So in either way, they're great experiences and really show the day to day for these professions.
So like a lot of these internships and like going to actual campuses and like hospitals and like shadowing doctors and everything, these are like core things that every single student that's applying to college would want on their college application because it's really amazing to
Exactly.
have say that you have experience. Do you know anything about the BSMB program? I've been hearing that go around recently.
I don't know much about it, though I do know some students that have gotten accepted into it.
I heard that it was very rigorous and it's like 7 years of med school.
Yes, essentially. I don't know like the specifics for the curriculum, but I did have a student that was actually in HOSA, and he was one of our HOSA presidents.
Oh,
And he got accepted to college, and he is in their BSMD program. It's exciting, and it really helps you, um, get a head start on all of that content. But like you said, it is very rigorous.
so whenever we're talking about like the BSMB program or like internships, I also heard and like realized that research is very important. Have you had any research experience in the past?
I did. UNF, actually, I was a research assistant with one of my professors.
What was the research
Mhm.
about that you
The
performed?
research was about cancer, and it was specifically cancer of the retina. And we did the studies on mice, and there was a lot of micropipetting and a lot of fun lab, tedious work.
When you talked about HOSA, like one of the students, presidents of HOSA went to the BSMB program, can you
Yes.
give us a general summary about what HOSA is?
Absolutely. HOSA is a club that not only brings people together that have interests in the medical field, but also allows them to use the knowledge that they have and then build upon it in order to compete in events that that they're going to compete in against other students within their school, within their region, within their state, to be able to get those medals and those recognitions for the level of knowledge that they have within those fields or within those knowledge areas, I should
Whatever
say.
they want to do when they.
Yes, exactly.
So do
And
you,
sometimes students don't necessarily have to have previous knowledge for physical therapy, for example. That's one of the competitive events. But you learn a lot about it. And I tell students that, if you already don't have a goal, look into something you might be interested in. That way you can learn more about it through HOSA and then decide whether or not you would truly be interested in pursuing that route. And then if you want to change up your competitive event every year and try something new, that's
do
that's
it?
great as well. Yeah.
So what's your favorite event in HOSA personally?
Oh, that's so hard.
There's so
There are
many.
so many. Home health aid. I have worked with several students on home health aid, and phlebotomy is also really cool. Physical, I mean, they're all really, really great.
Yeah, can't choose
The
one.
new one is occupational therapy, and those guidelines are amazing. Last year, they only had a test for the occupational therapy event, but this year they're going to have a skill portion as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So what me and my friend were thinking to do is career display. Do you have any tips for that?
Oh, health career display, absolutely. Be flashy for
Mm,
sure.
visual
Um,
everything.
have props, be neat, and have a really good outline
Oh,
for your project, for your presentation. They do evaluate you based on your outline before they even see your board,
like the PowerPoint.
before you even give your presentation. So knock out that outline, make sure you work hard, make sure your interview that you conduct is meaningful. I see you're really good at interviews already, so
Thanks.
you're going to do great if you do health career display. Absolutely.
So what do you believe is the long-term impact of HOSA, especially for those that don't want to do healthcare or don't end up doing healthcare?
The long-term effect of HOSA is building your communication and networking. So clubs or I should really say organizations like HOSA. It's more than just a club. We have a huge chapter. We have about 130 members, and that is without new incoming members. So hopefully we just keep growing, but that gives you the opportunity to meet people that you might not have met because they might have different grade levels. And years down the line, whether you're in the medical field or not, you will have ties to these people because you will have potentially spent 4 years doing this really involved club with them, going on trips to be able to go to the state conference, to go to the regional conference. And those core memories are really going to help you guys bond, and they're going to really play a role in that social network that you can create for yourself in the future, and then you can lean on those people later down the road. Yeah.
So in HOSA this year, do you know when the regional competition is?
The regional competition, that date typically changes. It depends on regional advisors. The regional advisor gives us some dates and then we vote on it. Generally, that competition is going to be in December or really early January, right after winter break.
Based on whenever regionals is, everyone that's doing a test-based event, how often before the competition do you think they should be studying for it? Test-based competitions.
I would say by mid-September, you need to start studying.
Okay.
So mid-September, you have a few months up until your test. And then the amount of time that you're spending every week on that material, um, that can vary up until maybe a month before, and then you need to get a little bit more rigorous with it.
So, should students in HOSA, do you think the HOSA competition is too overrated, like the competition aspect of it?
I think so. I think it's rated just right. Um, I think it serves a really good like it delivers this competitive edge to what we've always considered like a mundane task, like studying and trying to memorize things, or try even learning like in general can be mundane, but adding that competitive edge to it makes it more than just learning. It becomes a competition. It becomes kind of like a race
Like
between
an
two people,
adrenaline
like who
rush.
can get it first, you know? And so it adds this fun little aspect to learning that material. I guess that could go a little overboard sometimes. I think the fact that you are competing against something while learning a vital piece of information or set of information it's really nice. Like you're passively learning almost if you're really only focused on the competition.
Right. So, if speaking about competition, do you think some students focus too much on the medals and the awards they win and then forget about HOSA and how leadership is the actual important part?
I think there's definitely a piece of that there. But I think that's with any organization. I think that's within any career. When we have organizations that do require a lot of like community planning or, planning within the club to create a great community event for our community or a fundraiser, we need to make sure that we're acting as a team because we are a team and we're a team that should always be helping one another. That's one of my biggest goals is have more community events, have more time to work on things where not only will it help our club get closer, but it helps our other classmates get closer.
Do you think HOSA, based on like how we as students, as we build up our clubs and we meet new classmates, we always keep up with our curriculum? Do you think HOSA keeps up with their curriculum and the newest healthcare innovations in the field?
I think so. I think they keep up with everything really well. As I mentioned, they just added a new competitive event for occupational therapy. So I think they're seeing how things are changing, and then adding more curriculum to their organization as I wouldn't say as
Like
needed,
their main.
as they're able to, you know.
I heard about this one new cool like AI radiology platform. It's called AI
Mhm.
Docs. So it helps radiologists like prioritize clinical cases like hemorrhages and brain strokes, and then it reduces their workload and improves patient outcomes because it separates like what's the most needed and what's the least needed. So I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool. I definitely think that we are headed into an age where AI is going to be more helpful, um, especially within healthcare. There is only so much humans can do, and human error is unfortunately always going to be present. If we can use devices to help us specify and kind of triage patients for us, and then we oversee that device, then it would definitely help us be more effective and efficient.
Based on every like all the efficient like prototypes that we're creating, do you have a specific one that you really enjoy and like learning about?
Bioengineering has always been a passion of mine. It's always been one of the more complex concepts within biology for me. And so that naturally like draws me to it because I'm really curious about it and want to find out more and want to know more because if I get confused, I don't want to not know. I want to know why I'm confused. So I think I would be mostly interested in technology that does with that is related to bioengineering.
Because I hear like in hospitals these days, what everyone is doing in laparoscopic surgeries, like they're going through the belly button to get like resect out your like gallbladder appendix. I thought
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's like mummification, but the 21st century.
it is. It is. It's really cool. I like that mummification. At Ascension, we do a few field trips with the Biomed Academy. One of the places that we go every year has been Ascension, and with that field trip, they've taken us into their operating room and they've had this robot that does all the surgeries. And they kind of walked us through the process of how physicians and surgeons work together and are able to carry out these procedures. And even if a surgeon is all the way in California, they could still be on a computer running this robot in an operating room that is in St. Johns County.
That's really nice. I that's
Yeah,
the first time hearing about it. That's really cool.
yeah.
Do you trust, because since we're on the topic of AI, do you trust robots to do surgeries more, or do you trust actual surgeons to do like surgeries more? Because I always hear like 50-50 answers.
I trust actual surgeons to do a surgery more. I can get on board with robot. There definitely needs to be a lot of oversight and a lot of inspection. They can malfunction at any point. So I'm not super well in tune with how the maintenance works on
Robot.
robotic machinery. Um, but I'm sure there's a lot of complexities to it. So I'm sure there's a lot that goes on with making sure everything runs right. Um, but that also gets better as technology gets better.
Okay, so now we finished with the questionnaire. Now let's move on to this or that. This is called the
Okay.
pulse pressure round. So I'm going to give you a list of six this or that questions, and you need to answer them as fast as possible with a semi-reasonable explanation for each one. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, three, two, one. Lab coat or scrubs?
Scrubs, they're more comfortable.
Virtual dissection or real life cadaver?
Real life. You want to be able to feel it.
Teaching freshmen or seniors?
Oh, this one's so hard. Freshmen are very enthusiastic to learn new things.
Fast-paced ER or calm clinical lab?
Calm clinical lab. It's cleaner.
Change how science is taught or how it's tested?
Ooh, tested.
Okay. Late night grading or early morning lesson planning?
Late night grading. I'm definitely a night owl.
Okay, you were at 38 seconds. So more people on the podcast, we can compare how you did with your score. Now, let's move on to looking forward. Let's move on to the future. So where do you see the biomedical sciences, where do you see it going in the future for like 10 to 20 years?
Mm, I definitely see more bioengineering. Of course, I see AI. I see AI helping with bioengineering. Um, just anything with genetics. We've already, decoded the DNA, the human genome. So we've got that, and now we work with it, and we see how we can be more efficient in treating different types of disorders or preventing disorders by spotting genetic variations that can cause disorders.
Yeah, so like I was just thinking about it before we started the podcast. Like we came all the way from thinking a cell was just a circle of nothing to like having
Yeah.
electron like ionic bonds, compound bonds. So I'm taking AP Bio in school right now and
Nice.
I'm going over like we're going over like the ribose backbone and it's so cool. I'm gonna ramble on this, but
Oh,
basically it's like how the ribose is actually a chain, but then one of the oxygen's electrons link around to another carbon to give it the ribose shape. I thought that was really cool. So
yeah.
we came so far in medicine to even knowing how our own molecules are created from different shapes. So I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
And it's really a combination of so many different scientific fields coming together. You have your chemistry, you have biology, physics plays a huge role, and all of those come together.
Even though I don't
And
know.
all of those studies come together so that you can really fully understand, the 3D aspect of cellular life.
Are you a physics person or are you not a physics person?
So remember how I said things that I am not very familiar with, or that I don't know super well, are always the things that intrigue me most.
Hmm.
Physics is one of those things. I'm
Really?
not a physics person. I wish I was a physics person. I love watching physics documentaries. I'll watch them all day long. So I understand basic physics concepts, but I've never taken a lot of physics classes. But that's one of the things that really intrigues me. Physics has always been something that I've always known is great, but I'm like, there's just so much to it. And for me, physics is my favorite. So the thing I know least about, I'm like,
Your
I'll watch
favorite.
all the documentaries.
So away from physics, back to biomed. So how can students get early like investment in this field, and what do you think students can do to help their future in the biomedical field?
I definitely think students should shadow doctors or shadow any professional within the biomedical field. Um, Reaching out and asking is vital to be able to get opportunities. And a lot of students are shy and hesitant to reach out. But the worst that could ever happen is you get a no. And oftentimes the no is not about you specifically, it's typically about the person's schedule. So I would say reach out to people, ask to follow them around at their job, ask for them to do an interview with you and talk to you about what they do on a day to day. That is really where you're going to figure out exactly what you're passionate about. And that is how you're going to do well in the classes that you kind of plan out for yourself when you find a passion for what your goal is.
I feel like that's why I like started Pulse in general, like at the very beginning. It's because I know like so many students that even myself, I just have so many questions on the medical field, like the years of schooling you need, what type of courses you need to take in college, just so many questions about it. So I just wanted to like bring in other people that are already educated, like as you in like the
Yeah,
field, so they
thank
can
you.
talk to students and they could like educate them so they have a more clear view.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the whole concept of this.
Thank you. So do you have any questions for me?
Are you doing this with anybody specific, or is this just an individual endeavor?
This started out as like an individual endeavor for me. I just really wanted to make a nonprofit that would like help people in that want to go into the medical community and also like help patients with interaction. I'm thinking of me and my team, so like the club members and whoever was in our club last year. I'm actually thinking that we could go to like Baptist and we made cancer cards for pediatric patients last year,
Mhm.
so I was thinking we could go in and interact with the patients just to get like a whole understanding. So I thought that would be fun.
That's awesome. I love that.
So that
That
will
is
be
good.
on TikTok or Instagram. You guys should all look out for it. It'll be
I
fun.
love it. So to follow you, where should people go? Where are
Um,
you going to be posting your podcast?
I'll definitely put it. I have a YouTube channel and I will link it whenever I post this. I also am active on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I am starting a TikTok for it as well.
Beautiful. I love it. I'll follow all of them.
Thank you. That's a wrap on the episode of the Pulse podcast. A huge thank you to Miss Atic for joining us and sharing her knowledge, her passion, and insight into the Biomedical Academy and education. If you're a student in HOSA or just someone who's curious about like the medical world, we hope today's episode gave you something to think about, maybe even your next big step. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast, comment or DM me other types of people that you would like to see on the podcast, such as med students, college admissions officers. I know a lot of people want to see those, or like different types of physicians around the hospital. And stay tuned as we explore the science that shapes our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep your finger on the pulse.